A staggering 40 million Americans face the challenges of caring for an adult relative or friend. Many of those people don't even think what they're doing is considered caregiving. In fact, the profile of a typical caregiver today is completely different than what one might assume. Here to help juggle life, work, and caregiving is Amy Goyer. She's AARP's family and caregiving expert. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Now, Amy, you're not just our typical expert because you are actually the caregiver to your father who has Alzheimer's, correct?
That's correct. I've actually been a caregiver my entire adult life. First for my grandparents. My mom had a stroke when she was very young, and also for my sister. And now my dad has Alzheimer's and lives with me in Arizona.
So this has been a very changing thing, and our perception of what the typical caregiver might be has really changed. Tell us how.
Well, first of all, we know that 60% are women, but 40% are men, and we have more men getting involved in caregiving. They actually spend an average of 23 hours a week, male caregivers do. We also know that we have younger caregivers. 1 in 4 caregivers is now a millennial between the ages of 18 and 34. So that kind of changes your view of caregivers as well. But we also have many caregivers over the age of 75. And they're caregiving for their parents or their spouses or their siblings. And they're often doing it on their own. They're less likely to have support at that age.
What are some of the challenges that caregivers such as yourself face every day?
You know, oh my goodness, we are dealing with so much. We have financial pressures. 68% of caregivers put our own money into caring for loved ones. So there's a lot of financial pressures. We also are dealing with work. 60% of us are working at the same time. So, you know, we have our full-time jobs, and then we have another full-time job or a part-time job caregiving for loved ones. That's a lot to juggle. I think the biggest challenge really is taking care of ourselves. We focus so much on taking care of everyone else, and we don't even pay attention to the fact that our own tanks are getting empty, you know. We don't expect our cars to run without gas, but we expect ourselves to, and that's just not realistic. We have to take care of ourselves in a very practical way.
What are some of the tips you can offer other caregivers that are watching today?
Well, you know what? Get help. There is help out there. You need to realize that you're a caregiver, whether you're doing it, you know, like I am with my dad who lives with me, or you may just be a long-distance caregiver who's checking in with a loved one now and then, or supporting someone on a more infrequent basis. You're still a caregiver. So get help. There is information out there. AARP has a wonderful caregiving resource center online at aarp.org/caregiving. There are local agencies through your area agency on aging that can help. Your caregiving team is not necessarily going to just be family members. Look beyond that. Look at neighbors and friends and your faith community. I pay a concierge who helps me now and then with my life, so it frees me up to do my caregiving tasks. Those are the kinds of things that we need to do to keep the balance in our lives.
And Amy, a little help out there. Tell us about the new AARP contest to encourage people to do random acts of kindness for caregivers.
Well, November is National Family Caregiving Month, and so we are launching this caregiving awareness campaign at about the same time so that we can draw attention. The AARP magazine has a wonderful spread, 24 hours in the life of a caregiver, and it also has 100 things you can do to be kind to a caregiver. We're offering a contest where people will submit the acts of kindness they've done, the stories, their photos and videos at aarp.org/caregiver kindness, and we're going to choose 12 winners who've made a real meaningful difference in a caregiver's life to split a $10,000 prize. So you can do anything from sending a wonderful greeting card, flowers. You can open a door for a caregiver. I recently someone at the beach who was taking their grandmother to the ocean to fulfill a dream, and I jumped up and I helped them. Little things can be very meaningful to us and really make a difference in our outlook.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for being here this morning. Our best to you and, of course, your dad.